Now who wanna move closer on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes and you let the city know you rock 'em, yeah, we got 'em, yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em, bingo bought 'em, never stop it. To the beast and know 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes, flossing on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen, we gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Bengals and Brews. It's me and Dale, who is off the camera.
I'm here. I'm right here.
I just said you're off the camera. You're
I
there.
know. Still here.
You're just doing your off the camera stuff. Like he couldn't find his pants yet, so he's got dick out. Hey, thanks to everybody in the chat, the Brew Crew for joining us. Jerome, Rockin' Bengal, Chris Crowley, Industry Stranger, and that motherfucker Darth Bengal's in there now too. So,
oh man, he gets the same nickname as Tyler Kelly.
I know.
That's my praise.
Well, he is a Sith Lord, right? And
Yeah.
Matt just popped in there too. My number one customer at the chop shop, and Tony. See, everybody's trying to get their mentions and popping in right now, Dale.
That's right, because they know you're on it.
Anyway, man, a lot of shit happened over the weekend, right? Like lots of moves that we got to talk about. Dustin, welcome to the chat. And Crip again. Like tons of moves. Where do we start, Dale?
Well, Dustin asked about the commotion of the cap mismanagement, and Chris also talking about that. James and Jake break it down, the contracts. He's back to being disgusted. I don't think Dustin's as disgusted, but he can tell me if I'm wrong. I'm more around Chris. I just don't understand why they want to do this to themselves. Like we all call this the most important offseason because you missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. You had a Triple Crown season from Chase. You had Burrow with the MVP-like season. And you had Trey Henderson with the Defensive Player of the Year season. We still missed the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot that needed to be done. So what can you do? You can structure cap hits to where you have more money on the cap this year so you can go and get a piece or two. Because if you need to down the road, guess what? You can restructure contracts. You're allowed to do that and also then save more money, but it costs them cash. And, well, there's one thing we know. They love their cash.
I got to tell you, man, like, I guess they could restructure Joe's contract, but there was no need for that this year. I also, when they bring Trey in, because I know we were talking about that in our chat group, but like, so he's got an $18 million cap hit this year. So possibly when they re-sign him, it could maybe free up a little bit more money, but based on T and Jamar's contract, I really don't trust that's going to happen. We might have less cap at the end of the day after that deal than we do now.
No, and that's probably why it's so difficult with Trey right now because they're like, well, we don't have any cap space because you did this to yourselves. Literally, even TJ Slayton's contract, they hammer the first year cap hit to themselves for no reason. There is no reason to do it. None. And if there's certain things that they could have just saved by, I don't pretend to understand this all. That's why I always go to Lisco, Rapine, Goodberry, Andre Parada.
Right.
Listen to them more than you listen to me. From what I can tell, there's simple things they could have done, like prorate certain things in the contract, and that makes it to where, okay, the Bengals have to pay cash, but it saves money against the cap. And they could have saved money against the cap easily by doing that. And like, an extra $5 to $10 million easily to use to go get another player to help your team now to win football games, which is that should be the goal.
Well, Dale, they did go get Lucas Patrick.
Yeah, they did do that. And
I mean, he's got some good backup numbers. And then the thing came out today with his quote makes it almost seem like that they told him he'd be competing for a starting role.
Well, I think everybody is based on the roster right now. Because I don't think anybody's good enough to be handed a starting job. That's the sad reality of it. And we're praying for Brandon Scherff because at least he's a starter. But
right. Yeah.
Right.
He's got good numbers to run it back through one more time. Hey, I'm going to leave you, Greg, for just a second because my boss texted me and left me a message to call her. I'll be right back.
Okay. So assuming we were talking about the guard position, Dale.
Well, before that, we were talking about the cap and just the way they structure things because that's a hot button issue for everybody. And I don't claim to be a cap expert, but I don't understand why you wouldn't want to have your more money.
Yeah, no, so Dale,
your team now.
You understand it's more 90. So next year they would have a crap load of money to spend, correct?
It's the same thing though. They're going to do it. They're going to sign. No, not really. It didn't change anything because they could have prorated things and just paid more cash instead of taking cap hits on some of these deals. And that would have saved them money. It would have saved them money against the cap to sign other players. But the way they structured it, it doesn't do anything but put them closer to the cap for no reason except they can say they're closer to the cap and they don't have to spend on someone else.
Right. No, I mean, Zach Moss, I mean, he's got to be. I'm surprised we haven't cut him yet. And Jermaine Pratt, I don't know what the hell we're going to do with him or anything. Maybe he wants to stay. But Dale, look, I'm upset. Believe me, the way the contract's structured, I get it. People are pissed off. Everybody on social media is pissed off. And at the end of the day, maybe it's just me being Mr. Positive, Dale. You know me and all that and stuff. But I'm just, at the end of the day, I'm happy we got both T and Jamar signed.
Which is fine to be that way, but this is just a topic of conversation
that
people are having because people are failing to understand that. Like Ovazella says, it's like $11 million. It's like $11 million you could have had in cap space to spend and improve your team.
I understand. I'm just done being miserable because I was miserable last week and all that and stuff. But no, you have a right to be upset and all that and stuff.
I'm not even upset. It's just that's what people are bringing up, so we're talking about
it. Right.
No,
I understand people's frustrations and all that and stuff. My motto is, hey, let's look forward. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's see what we can try to do moving forward and all that. That's just me personally. I get it. People are upset, and I understand that. But I just try to view, okay, what can we do moving forward? I don't try to look at the past because you can't change the past.
Do you got a burner named Bengal Mike? Because that guy's been going back and forth with me on Twitter about it. Same deal. I'm like, I want to be optimistic, you know?
No. Mike, sorry, man, we aren't the same.
I mean, listen, I'm still optimistic about having a good season. I'm still optimistic about signing Jamar and T.
Greg, you're having feedback. So isn't there a button you usually have to click when your thing's being
Oh yeah, hold on. Oh, is that my and I'm sorry.
So I'm optimistic about the moves they made. I'm just like not.
Can you hear me better?
Yes. Because of the moves they didn't make. And then the way that I don't know all the numbers, so I don't know how all that shit works. But
if you're telling me it could have been this, like
I trust
it wouldn't even cost
Goodberry.
them, but it wouldn't have cost them more cap. So this is Jake Lisco, Chris Crowley is saying, and I haven't listened to it, so I'm taking
I trust Lisco, I trust Rapine, I trust Goodberry, I trust some of these guys on Twitter that are doing the numbers, and it doesn't look good. Like at this point, if we sign Trey, which I still hope happens, I mean, what's left after that? Because I kind of feel like maybe they're waiting to see what's left after that, and I don't trust them to not put a big hit on this year one. You know, this season.
They do it with every contract, and that's what I'm saying. Like, well, when Goodberry posted, well, as of things are now, we'll have $86 million in cap space next year, and it's like, okay, so that'll be they're going to whoever they decide to extend on their own team, like they did this year with BJ Hill and Joseph Osai. They're going to have high year one cap hits for whoever that is, just whoever it is, right? You just expect that's where a lot of the cap space is going of that $86 million. And then they're going to bring in 2 to 3 mediocre at best free agents that they also put high cap hits in year one on. That is that, and then that money's gone because that's exactly what happened this year, guys. We were sitting on here before free agency saying they could fix both guard spots. They could bring in another pass rusher. They could probably get a safety upgrade, linebacker, one or the other. They could do all these things because of all the cap space they had and still do their extensions because they could structure everything and it would work out fine. Yeah. Now we're sitting here making excuses for them as we tend to do as fans because we're all going to be rooting for them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Me, you, everyone, no matter how you're positive. Negative.
No, look, I want to respond to Dustin here. Dustin, I get what you're saying and all that stuff. I get it. You're frustrated, buddy. You know, like I say, everybody has a right to the way they act. They want to act and all that and stuff. We can agree, disagree. I get it. They should have that mentality and all that. That's just how I am. I'm not trying to argue with anybody. I'm not trying to debate anybody. I'm not trying to go against anybody. I just try to stay positive. That's all I'm just.
I know. I think it's just you coming in when you did, and the discussion that people were having, because we talk about whatever people bring up on this show. And this is a hot button issue because a lot of the other bigger podcasts that people watch, this is the discussions that they're having.
No,
So
yeah.
people are asking our opinion, and we're giving them. Greg, yours is that there's nothing you can do about it. You're going to choose to be positive, and that's fine. I'm going to sit here, though, and still be like, I don't understand why they do this as a fan.
No. You're right to say that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying no one's mad at anybody. It's just that this is just a conversation. But yeah, it is stuff Lapham needs to ask Duke.
No, you're right.
It is stuff Kelsey Conway, whoever, when they get a moment around Duke, like, why do you guys structure contracts this way? And you basically tie one hand behind your back for improving your team. And I still wonder if there's a disconnect between Duke and the people who cut the checks, the Blackburns and Brown family, because he wanted to not pay more for the same team. He wanted to add more to it and improve it.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, they haven't really done that, because I wouldn't consider Lucas Patrick, Samaje Perine, or Oren Burks, who are basically not even starters necessarily, as doing that. Now, TJ Slayton, sure, but Mike Hilton was a starter and he's gone. Not saying he should be back, whatever, but I'm just saying, you're taking one starter and now you've added one starter. If you just look at it from that lens, okay, you're about even. We just call it even. But you also have this guy who got you 17 and a half sacks, and you don't know what the hell's going on with this contract. He's talking about setting out. He's talking about this, that, and however you feel about it, it's just something hanging over their head when you're now 1 month till the draft. So it's like, there's no reason as an organization missing the playoffs 2 years, having Joe Burrow at quarterback, Jamar Chase at receiver, that you don't have this shit figured out to make even not even your fan base, but you as a team, man. That's a team mindset. When you are going and making a couple more moves, pushing cap into future years so you can make another move or two, you're showing that entire locker room, we're going for it this year, boys, to win a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Because Joe Burrow is always going to think that way, but it's just another thing to show them, right? So why not do that? Why not ever do it? Ever.
No,
they never do.
Dale, a lot of questions to be asked. I'd like to learn more about this. I wish Duke Tobin would go to the media more so I could learn more about this, because like I look at some of the wide receivers that are structured, it's like 4-point this, their first years. All of a sudden you look at Chase and Higgins, I'm like, good Lord, man. I mean, I
got to tell you, though, man, Duke Tobin's word right now with me is shit. I mean, the man stood up there and told us that we were going to get new players. We weren't running the same team back again.
Got TJ Slayton.
The only thing that we got is TJ Slayton, and that's to make up the mistake for letting Reeder walk.
Yeah. But Chop, here's the thing. I totally agree with what you're saying, but maybe Duke Tobin has a different opinion. What new players? Maybe he's saying we did get new players and all that and stuff. But no, I'm on your side on this, poor Chop. Believe me, man, he still gets it's still an incomplete right now with this offseason. I still give it an incomplete right now.
Yeah, I mean, T-Brookie, there was some false ones being out there, so I understand what you're saying, but now it's over the cap and all these places that have like the official, as far as I know, the official ones came out, because there was a lot of, Spotrac had something, the Pro Football Talk guy had something, and no one likes him anyway, so they had some stuff that wasn't a complete picture of everything. I think now the complete picture's out there, to be fair, of what Lisco and Rapine talked about on their show, Locked on Bengals. So if anybody wants to be mad, I think watch that one's what I heard, because it's going to be very obvious ways they could have had more money and cap space. That's just, and I'm not even going to go listen to it, because it upsets me as a fan of this team wanting us to win a Super Bowl to know that minor things that 30 to 31 other teams in this league would do, they still refuse to do. And that's the thing, because every other team would have done that with those two contracts, period.
And Dale, I just watched it just to educate myself more, because I have no idea how the cap works. I try to listen. I have no clue at all. And I just do it just to educate myself to see why they would do this and all that. Right. Because like you say and all that, if they think they're going to this, look, I'll say this as a Mr. Positive. You think for 1 second fans are coming going the season with Cody Ford and Patrick as their guards, Lord Almighty.
And where have we improved as a pass rush? And it just feels
nothing.
No, but something we've talked about for 2 or 3 years. We need more pass rush besides Trey. And yes, you can hope that Osai and Murphy are going to take a step. 100%. You should hope that, right?
Sure.
You want them to, but hope can't be what you're banking on when you're trying to win a Super Bowl. Because we
need-
hope they take that step.
No, you
Right?
need insurance. You need insurance. You need that guy that
You
gives
need
that
the
insurance.
more guys you have, the more backup you have because injuries happen. That happens. And we've been talking about replacing Larry O to have somebody with BJ Hill to pair with him as a pass rusher, and we still haven't done it 4 years later. That's the issue is like, it's always the same thing. And we'll probably be sitting on here a year from now when we don't win a Super Bowl again next year, talking about the same needs that we didn't fill in free agency.
Yep.
That's
Right.
what is frustrating as a fan base.
And T. Brookie brings up a point here. I did watch Locked On, and he's right. They were calling him dumb and stupid. And I think it's the frustration, man. It's like they said, and I'm going to point out what Jake Lisco said. We got a 3-year window. Yeah, we got Jamar and we got T for the next 4 years. We got Burrow for that same amount of period. But these guys are in their prime. At some point, they get older, they start declining. But right now, these guys are in their prime for the next 3 years. This is the biggest Super Bowl window that we have to shoot through. And instead of taking that shot, we're shooting ourselves in the fucking foot, is what I feel. Now, they maybe could do it. I mean, when we went to the
of
Super Bowl,
course.
Joe had a shit offensive line. He is very elusive, but I don't want to count on Joe's elusiveness because 2 times he's had a season-ending injury. So why are we risking that? And then I don't.
And you could have just upgraded guard and
Yeah.
a couple guards. We would have all been like, okay, now you can hammer the draft with your pass rush stuff.
Yeah, Dale, that's what
all.
I'm saying. It's like we bought a lottery ticket in the offseason, right before the combine and all that. We bought a lottery ticket, and when we're checking it, we got 5 fucking numbers. And because we didn't get the 6th number, we're $100, and we're supposed to feel good about not getting a 6th number because we got $100. That's what I feel like. We were like, all this stuff, like Duke made our dreams come true. We all jerked off that night thinking about how we're going to be running this back. We're going in. We're going to get guards. We're going to get protect. We're going to get some pass rush. We're going to be active in free agency. We're going to sign our guys. And here we are. Partial truce. We did sign T. All right. We're
happy about that. And we're happy.
Yes, and we're ecstatic about that.
We spent multiple shows being happy about
Yes, go back and watch those shows where we all got fucking boners waving around because we're happy we signed T and Jamar. But then when the contracts come out, we're like, dang it, because we still haven't got those guards. We got Patrick, who's a backup. We got Scherf out there please, Scherf, Brandon Scherf, please come run it back one more time and see if you can help us win a Super Bowl because I don't want to go in.
It would be huge to have him. It would be huge to have and then Battle Royale even going into the draft. And maybe you draft a guy that competes in that too, but it's like a draft pick, Patrick Ford, all that. I think Willie Lutz said, a Royal Rumble over at left guard and Scherf's locked in at right guard. At least you have one spot of the two because that's protecting Burrow. That's the bare minimum you should do when you have a Joe Burrow. Because the guard play was atrocious. We all saw it.
Yeah, and I even see some people that they give the excuse of Scott Peters. Scott Peters is going to make a difference. Scott Peters will get these. Man, who the fuck is Scott Peters? We had Frank Pollock. We got Scott Peters, and our line was the guard play was shit. I don't trust that just Scott Peters is going to come in here and fix it. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Shop.
I finished.
Okay. No, like I say, no, I just don't want to go to the draft having to draft a guard. I don't want to go in the draft. Feel I'm obligated to take this position. We've done that. No, we did in the Marvin Lewis era. We had actually good teams and all that where we didn't do anything in free agency where we could have probably have. I don't want to go back in this formation where we have to take this guy. We have to take that guy. I don't want to go back in that situation. I just don't. But it looks like we're going to have to. Like I say, I have a feeling maybe, who knows, maybe something could happen with watching Pat McAfee today. Ian Rappaport. All of a sudden, Ian Rappaport, very positive now. Yeah. The Bengals are going to sign Trey Hendrickson. Usually a lot of these, because he even said the Bengals get frustrated when people call them cheap and all that and stuff. They seem really adamant getting Trey taken care of. Yeah. I hope they do. But even if you do get Trey taken care of, you still need to go sign a guard. I agree with that.
Yes. I do want a guard in the draft. I don't want a guard at first round in the draft.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. I think both of these statements are right. Like Ozella says, coaches can't fix the lack of talent. Mm-hmm. And Andrew's saying they're expecting too much of the new coaches to fix the offensive line and the defense. And and listen, we should hope and maybe have some expectation that it's going to be better because it was really bad. Those two, the guards especially, was really bad. And then the defense. But if you know those things are bad, why don't you give these new coaches, your new chef, why don't you give him better ingredients when you're trying to make your restaurant better? I don't know. It's like common sense to me. And I don't know why you want to give the bare minimum to these guys coming in and saying, well, we just expect you to make it work now.
I mean, they're probably doing everything right, Dale. We didn't go to college for contract and stuff like that. So I'm sure they did it probably correct. We're just wrong.
Well, you know what we're not wrong at? The Chop Shop and Midwest Best Barbecue. Proud sponsors of the show. Never can go wrong on that either. I had the pleasure of trying the T-Wings myself over the weekend, and they're awesome as hell. And the Chop Shop, man, does Chop have some shirts coming in. I got some shirts I got to order in soon. I just got to make sure I don't go broke and I don't have to sell my house anytime soon. But that's what's probably going to happen.
Nah, fuck it, Greg. Sell your house, buy some shirts.
That's right.
You're right. But yeah, no, like I say, stop at the Chop Shop Midwest Best Barbecue.
If you do go bankrupt buying my shirts, I will send you a thank you card. Go ahead,
buddy. I can use it as an umbrella.
Yeah.
Chop, did you ever pop the thing up for mock draft? Because I know we were going to do that today.
Oh, I can do one. Hold on a minute. Let me make some.
Well, switch gears.
I'll get it set up while you're talking.
That's the next thing that we can really look into or forward to, because we don't know if they're going to make another move. We're hoping to extend Trey. We'd love to see a Brandon Scherf. We don't even know if he's going to play. But we do know there will be the NFL draft, and it is a month away now from night one of the draft. So that's exciting, right? Because the draft, you always got some hope that you're going to – maybe you get lucky and nail every pick, right? And all 6 picks that we have right now contribute and help us win a Super Bowl. That's always going to be your dream when you're going into the draft.
Sure.
So Duke Tobin was hired director of player personnel in 1999. I put this on Twitter as well earlier. But we'll get, Akili Smith was drafted in 99. I don't know how much Duke had a say in that draft, so we'll just ignore that pick per se. But since 2000, these are the positions that we've taken. So we've taken 2 quarterbacks, 1 running back, 4 receivers, 2 tight ends, 5 offensive tackles, 1 guard, 1 center. So that's since 2000. That's 16 offensive players that have been drafted. 4 receivers, 5 O tackles. That stands out because that's the highest. Well, I don't think we need to pick an O tackle in the first round. And these are first round picks, by the way, not any other round. But I don't think they're going to pick an O tackle in the first round. I don't think they're going to pick a wide receiver after bringing these 2 back. So if they go offense, maybe that opens up another spot. On defense, we've had 10 selections since 2000. 2 of those at defensive end, 2 of those at linebacker, 5 at corner, and if you count Dax because he was drafted as a safety, then 1 safety. Or otherwise it's 6 corners if you look at what he is now. Or if he should always been a slot corner when they drafted him. So they love their corners on the defensive side of the ball, which is why we say you can never rule that out. One position I didn't mention was defensive tackle. Well, they've drafted 0 of them since the year 2000. Actually, since 1994 with Big Daddy Dan Wilkinson. So they missed on that pick, and they've never went back to it.
Oh, my God.
I say that because we talk a lot about Walter Nolan. We're going to do a mock draft, this, that, and the other. We may still take a D tackle, but it's just something to keep in mind. We're doing all these mock drafts. We're thinking of a D tackle, and they can always break what they don't do, right? When they took Zeitler, they hadn't taken a guard.
Can you hear me?
They did that. Yeah.
Can you hear me, Dale?
Sure.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Man, everything's froze up on my computer, though. I'm probably going to have to restart it. Like, I don't know why when I opened that, I had to do that before the show, too, because of the second window. But
Well, Dale,
I'll be right back.
No, big news today. Bengals have attended the Marshall Pro Day.
Yeah.
So
Mike Green, I mean, there's like I think the safety, J.J. Roberts is maybe another guy. He could be even an undrafted player. And that's close, right? So I expect them to go to the pro days of local ones. And they're at a lot of pro days, to be fair. So I'm not going to look too much into that. But I do hope they're looking at Mike Green. I hope they have Mike Green in for a top 30 visit. I hope they do as much as they can to check his background.
Does Mike Green count as a local visit?
I don't know, Greg. I'm not sure on Marshall. You would think, but I don't know. We just haven't had a lot of those.
Okay, because remember when Lamar Jackson came in for a visit? Technically, that didn't count as a top 30 visit or anything because he was local in Louisville. I don't know what the radius is.
Chop, you want me to pop you off here?
I don't know. No. I mean, I popped me off of there until I figured this out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, Dale, and I sent you this also. Who is this kid they worked out. He's not even on your draft board or anything. I think I texted you him earlier today. Do you know who he was?
Oh, the Isaiah Nair.
Yeah, tell us about him.
He's an undrafted guy. He's a good height, weight, speed. He's only played like 2 seasons, basically. Even this year was a good season for Nebraska. He's transferred like multiple times. He still only had like 500 and some yards. So
6'4".
He's never been super productive, but yeah, he's got good size, good speed. I don't know if he'll get drafted. He could even be an undrafted guy, but that's one of those guys, like, if he does go undrafted, and I don't see the Bengals drafting a receiver with only 6 picks as of right now. He's a kid you would want to get in here and you call and say, we didn't draft one. You got a chance to, come in and work for a spot. And you get a guy like that with that, height, weight, speed, and get him in here and see what they can do as an undrafted guy. So it's definitely makes sense to have some interest in him for sure.
Gotcha. But interesting. Yeah, because the whole DT thing, I thought that myself, Dale. Like you said, we haven't drafted a DT in the first round since Big Daddy, and I hope that changes. I hope that fucking changes, man.
This is why it's important. So see all the yellow on this paper?
Sure.
And you see the orange. That's 2 players. You see the blue. That's 2 players. That yellow is that yellow is 11 different players highlighted in yellow. These are so I went through today, the top defensive tackles in the NFL, in my opinion, and then also guys with 6+ sacks recently and where they were drafted. 11 of them was in the first round. 11. And honestly, one of the 2 that's in orange that were a 3rd round pick has never had 6 sacks. That was Osa Odigizua. He's only ever had 4.5 sacks, and he just got a $20 million contract extension with the Cowboys. So I listed him on there for that reason. But I almost say you take him off. So then there's been 2 players in the 2nd round and 1 player in the 3rd round and 11 in the 1st round. 11 to get 6 or more sacks that you would consider a solid defensive tackle. So everyone always points to Chris Jones, right? Chris Jones was a 2nd round pick. Would everybody agree that's a good player?
Yep.
He was 37th overall. We pick at 49. That is very close to being a 1st round pick. So he was a high priority early in that 2nd round also. So even though he was one of the 2 2nd rounders, he went at pick 37. And yes, he's had 6 sacks, 10.5 sacks, 15 sacks one season. Great player, right?
Yep.
So you can get one sometimes in the 2nd round. But even this guy was high 2nd. Now, some of the other guys you would consider the best D tackles in the NFL. Would you guys say Cam Hayward? 1st round. Dexter Lawrence?
Yes.
Dexter Lawrence, 1st round. Jeffrey Simmons, 1st round. Jalen Carter, 1st round. Ed Oliver, and you say, well, Ed Oliver's never lived up to it. He had 9.5 sacks in 2000.
Still pretty damn good.
9.5 sacks in 2023. 1st round. Quinnen Williams, say he's pretty good. He's had 12 sacks in a season. 1st round. DeForest Buckner, 8 sacks, 6.5 his last 3 years. 1st round. Leonard Williams, 11 sacks last year for Seattle, even though he wasn't always doing great with the Jets, the Giants, those teams he was on. 11 sacks last year, 1st round. Vita Vea, well, he's a big nose tackle, 350. Yeah. He just had 7 sacks last year. Brian Breesy, who we took Miles Murphy and didn't pick him, 7.5 sacks last year, 1st round.
Stop it.
Kalijah Kancey, we all like Kalijah Kancey, 1st round. So 7.5 sacks last year for Kalijah Kancey. All of those guys have had 6 or more sacks, and they were all 1st round picks, 11 players. Chris Jones is one that has it as a 2nd rounder. One other guy is Jerron Reed, who did go 49th. So to give you some small hope that it can happen. He had 7 sacks in 2023 and 4.5 last year. And he's in his 30s. He's always been up and down. He's been a 3-4 sack guy most of his career. And then, like I said, the 3rd round pick, Osa Odigizua, who got a $20 million contract. The Bengals aren't bringing in those free agents. That guy has never had more than 4.5 sacks, but still getting $20 million. I don't know why I'm the only one on the screen.
I don't know either. I didn't.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Here, I'll hit the button. I was gonna hit it to be back.
I didn't do it. Yeah.
I thought I was talking. So
I didn't touch anything.
Made sense though, man.
No, it makes sense. No deal. That's why I shut up. Okay,
but the other guy is 3rd round pick, who we also wouldn't go out in free agency and show any interest because he got a huge contract, and that's Milton Williams, who had 7 sacks this year. That's including playoffs, or he would have never had over 6 sacks. He had a couple in the playoffs. So Milton Williams, 1 guy in the 3rd. Chris Jones and Jerron Reed, 2 guys in the second, and I listed off 11 players in the first round. So if you want a guy that can come in here at D tackle, make an impact, and become a 6+ sack guy a season, guess where you're probably going to have to get him based on history. This isn't my bias. This is
First
literally
round.
fucking history right here.
Round.
Looking it up, the best fucking players, pass rushers in the NFL right now. You get them in the first round.
Yes. Well,
I don't
so then when the news came out today that the Bengals were at the Mike Green thing, at Marshall's pro day, I did go there and take Mike Green first round and see how it played out. Dude, it played out great. Let me just see, because I know I sent it to you guys. I mean, there's no way this would work out because I got Tate Ratledge in the 3rd round. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's not happening.
Right. And there's a lot of these, man. And that's hard because we do these mock drafts too. And we're like, well, we want to take this guy. I think you got to make a decision in the second, whether you're getting a Tate.
Listen to
Ratledge
this
or
draft, though,
somebody
man. Mike Green, I took at 17. I didn't do any trades. At 49, I got Carl Schlesinger. Dude, those are 2 badass moves right there. And that's some pass rush. Tate Ratledge in the 3rd. Aeneas Peebles, I got him in the 4th round. Kobe Bryant in the 5th. And just for fun, and if I would have had 7 rounds, I probably could have waited or maybe undrafted. But just for fun for everybody, I threw in the Power Peanut on the last round.
Well,
Because I do think he's going to be a good NFL player.
Yeah, just find a role. Find a role.
That's a
for
good.
him.
I felt like that's a good draft. I'm mailing this
It
one to
is.
Mike Brown. I know he likes mail, so I'm going to send this one to him and see what we can do.
No doubt. But yeah, it was very frustrating though, because I've never really looked at like, okay, are all the top, and it's like, because we're always saying everybody's like, this is a deep D tackle class. You can get one in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. Well, yeah, but not probably one that's actually going to ever be really good.
Not one that's going to make an impact. You might get one that can
Your
be
odds of
coached
that are
up.
they're much smaller to me if you don't get them in the 1st.
Mhm. Yeah, we need like like Walter Nolan, or if Mason Graham fell to us for some reason, but I don't understand that.
Get the
I
gas
am
mask
kind of
out.
like, huh?
Get the gas mask.
Yes. You know what? I am a little bit standoffish with Mike Green because of these sexual allegations in high school and college. It does worry me.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
it
has
wouldn't,
to.
but we got that fucking Jermaine Burton who can't get his head on straight, and his shit was just slapping a phone out of a girl's hand on the field after a loss.
Well, he had also transferred high school 4 times. You would
Well,
have known this
yeah.
if you looked at my draft guide, Tom.
Yeah.
Transferred
But,
high schools 4 times. Transferred.
well, I
college
did, but you
once.
remember
and that's the new norm now. But his, I think, was because he was having issues at most of these places.
And you remember last year, I was like, out of your whole draft guide, Dale, there's one wide receiver I'm taking off the Bengals list. They'll never draft him, and it was Jermaine Burton.
And boy, did they!
Because of the character issues. But I wonder if this year they've learned their lesson and they stay away from Mike Green just because of that.
And it's always possible. And then that's maybe James Pearson. It's maybe Walter Nolan because you just hear things, that we don't know
Walter Nolan.
True or not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's fire up this mock draft,
All
man.
right, man. Let me add the stage and then let me go over to that screen. I have to do it instead of open up a whole new window, I think, because it keeps locking up if I do it the other way.
I do believe it's our first mock draft Monday. We've done a lot of these on Fridays. Maybe we fired one off here or there because we just.
Yeah.
But actually, to plan to have one, as then you saw, we planned it so much I hadn't even told Chop, and it wasn't ready to bring up.
All right, so I'm going to get rid of this. And here we
Greg,
go.
if there's comments, bring them up because I got my screen full screen.
And I can't see
just
the comments, so-
Comments related
No,
to comments related to who people think we should take.
And there's our guy down there. Look, there's Mike Green. James Pierce down there too.
Kenneth Grant, Jihad Campbell. Yeah. See, and I did one with Campbell, and there's a lot of people like, yeah, but he's having shoulder surgery. He had shoulder surgery. He had a torn labrum. And that is concerning because it's maybe a 6 to 8 month recovery. So when will he be back?
6 to 8 months is in time for the season almost.
Yeah, but when will he be ready to play football again? And we know with the Bengals. So I understood people's concerns when I did that as a mock draft. Mm-hmm. So taking him at 17 now is hella concerning for me.
Oh, man. I feel like I know who the Bengals take on this board.
Shamar Stewart?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, he could be good. It's just, I don't know, man. It scares the hell out of me to expect knowing how much pass rush.
What's his motor like, Dale?
Stewart?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a high effort player. I think he's a good run defender. He just doesn't always finish, and people are like,
That's
well,
the
he's not
thing.
always asked, but I see him rushing the passer, and he doesn't get there. I'm just saying. You can say, well, he's playing a 4-eye. He's doing this. He's doing that.
Dale,
That
if it
was
came
his
down
role.
to Stewart, and Pierce, who would you take?
I mean, for me, it's Pierce because it's just tape, but I don't know what the Bengals front office should know about these players. They should know how the coaches feel, how people on campus feel, how his teammates feel. Did people go to his birthday party?
Right.
Yep.
For James
right,
Pierce.
so-
I don't know. I just hear these, what people put that he has some things that may drop him out of the first round. So,
Oh yeah, fun fact here. Nolan was at A&M with Stewart and
Yep.
McKinley Jackson.
and he wasn't that great until he went to Ole Miss, in my opinion.
I
So,
mean,
I don't know. Ole Miss, Shamar Turner is another one D tackle there. He had an awful season this year, but he had a good season the year before at Texas A&M. So I don't know.
I got to tell you, if I'm the Bengals GM on draft day, I feel like I would try to trade down in this position.
Yeah, and I'm always good with a trade down, even though I don't know how realistic it is. It's our mock draft Monday.
What do we want to
So-
do? What's it say in the chat? Do we want to trade? Do we wanna-
Nolan,
pick a player?
Hey Dale, never mind.
I mean, just with this draft board, not saying this is how it's going to go, but they got Walter Nolan at like 27. So I think you could easily trade down and he'd be there.
Sindustry said, well, the more I see about Nolan, the more I like him. Nolan, one guy says I have to read more about Pierce. I don't want him, so.
I mean-
Nolan, so it seems like it's Nolan.
I think you got to,
If you want an immediate impact player, it's either Barron or Nolan.
if
You
you
can
did,
click on those, can't you, Greg? Because I
Yes,
can
I
still see. I've got it full screen. I just can't see the chat.
All right.
I can see when you pop up a comment.
Yeah.
I think you'd have to trade him for Pittsburgh because Jesus Christ, I don't want Pittsburgh getting Walter Nolan, right?
Well, I'm just trading with the Packers. Pick 23 because we've done it before.
All
And
right,
I know
well,
we can get a third.
Alex here
Yeah,
says
two
we need to
steps.
trade down, but
Are we trading?
Yes, we're trading pick 17 to the Packers, who have pick 23. I don't care if they want this. This is our mock, and we're doing it. We also want their third rounder, pick 87. And I don't care which of these sevens. Just take the first one. It doesn't matter. It's a seventh rounder.
All right.
And we're trading it, and we picked up 2 picks. So now we went from 6 picks to 8 picks, and we moved down 6 spots.
Look, the board didn't really change at all. Still Shamar Stewart up there.
Their guy
Probably
is
Bengals
still
pick.
there. Mike Green is still there. Is
Yep.
Walter Nolan on the board at D-line, Chop?
You said what did go to the D line? Oh,
He's gone. So
who
see,
got Walter Nolan?
after I sat here and did a whole episode of talking about how important it was to get these D tackles in the first round, unless I reach slightly on Darius Alexander, I'm not getting it. But I do think he could go in the late first
Well,
in real life.
At this point, I think we look at the edge.
Yeah, and I just can't force myself to go Shamar Stewart. I know people may not like this, but we traded down. If you're worried about Mike Green and you're worried about those allegations, and I don't blame you if you are, 2 allegations is a frightening thing.
yeah.
I don't know him. I don't know what happened with all that. I do know that Donovan Ezerique has a completely clean record, and he's a little undersized, but he's got long arms, and he had 16 and a half sacks last year, and he went to Boston College. He's a smart motherfucker. And I think talent-wise, he's not too far off from Mike Green, in my personal opinion. Like, I've moved him up to like 16th overall on my board recently because I've always liked him. I've always had him in the top 30. And I'm just like, I just like this guy. And if there's so many questions about Mike Green, and there's so many questions about James Pierce, and there's so many questions about Shamar Stewart and Mykel Williams as far as pass rushing and how much of an impact they'll have early and how much development they need in those areas, why wouldn't I just get the guy I think that could impact and be a pass rusher right now? And that's Donovan Ezerique.
Hey, Robert here. Is Booker still there?
So that's guard.
Yeah, some guys are saying guard.
Yeah,
here.
he's there at the top.
And a lot of people are out on him because of the athleticism. His RAS was like a 4 or 5. It was not
Ooh,
good.
That is not well. I want to point out to Cincinnati fans that Orlando Brown Jr.'s RAS score was also 4-something.
But as Joe Goodberry will say, those are outliers.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like, Orlando Brown Jr. is a good player because of his effort. Because the man will tell you he's not the most athletic player. He will admit that, but the technique he uses and stuff and the work he puts in makes him great.
Well, I also think Tyler Booker's a dog. I wouldn't have an issue with taking him here.
Chris Crowley says, "How about Grant? We love Michigan."
He was one pick off the board before us.
You know, I mean, Grant at 17. I mean, in the first, I know we're at 23 right now, and I mean, he'd be a good pickup. But the only thing that we improved through free agency was nose tackle. We got TJ Slayton, so I think that Grant's probably off the board for the Bengals.
Shamar Stewart is BPA, and I just can't force myself to take him, even though we traded down. Now the Bengals probably love him.
Yes.
Grant is Slayton Jr. according to KP.
What is the chat saying there, Greg? Who are we taking?
Well, I think edge, because the D tackles are gone, and maybe some people like Barron, but I don't know if he's a safety, a slot corner, and maybe he'd fit here. But I'm still, personally, I would be fine taking Azariku. I don't think a lot of other people would, and then Mike Green's still on the board. So
Robert and Andrew say guard. Robert specifically said Booker. Trade down. KP says take Green. It seems like defense, Grant is Slayton Jr. So Dave said I'll go guard in round 1, DT round 2.
I don't know, Chop. Me personally, I'm at edge here just because the D tackles didn't fall.
I 100% feel like our biggest need is the pass rush.
Gary Brown says take a damn guard. We need 2. Take one early and late. Robert says that helps our offensive line, taking Booker. And KP says, hell no, guard in round 2.
I mean,
Chop, we got to make an executive decision. Who do you want? The 3 of us on here, because it sounds like no one's agreeing in the chat, which is fine.
Guard with what's left. It's Industries. Gary says guard.
I mean, to be honest, we could try guard. We've never done guard in the first.
We never have.
How that fell.
Chris Crowley says green. Dustin says protect the franchise. Booker, book it. Sounds like Booker's kind of a favorite.
I don't care to go that route in this one.
All right, let's just do it and we'll see what happens. Tyler Booker, boom. All right.
We went with the chat. Feel good about our D line, what we can do afterwards.
Right. Let's see what's left with our what's coming up.
We already took Booker.
Oh no.
Yeah.
See, look, this is what I'm talking about. Like, if we if we did not
Zabel and Donovan Jackson, you could have got your guard right away in this round with either one of those guys. And Tate Ratledge, I'm sure.
Let's see what's left at edge. Oh, they're all gone.
I like Princely.
I'm just saying, like, our guy from Boston College is gone. Mike Green's gone. Shamar Stewart's gone.
But Princely's very good, man.
Yeah, I know Princely, Dale. You're very high on him. Princely would be my choice as of right now.
Watch the clip that I put on X yesterday of him versus Georgia. So I clipped up that game, and wow, he dominated Georgia. It didn't matter, man. They kept benching Ernest Green, putting in a different guy. It didn't matter which side, what he was doing. Princely was eating him up. So for the edge group, it's him. But let's go D-line, Chop. Tyleek and Alfred Collins, both of them are more your run stuffers.
Okay, I don't know anything about Alfred. Okay, tell me about Alfred. So he's just a run stuffer?
I mean, I believe, could he do something in pass rush? Sure. Is that going to be his primary role? Absolutely not. And he's big, dude. He's like 6'6", 335.
KP says, what about Omar Norman?
God.
He's got a knee. He's got a knee issue that there's no way I could even consider in the second round with some of the stuff floating out there about like a degenerative knee issue.
Dale, you really sold me on Carson Swishinger, and he's there.
Yeah, and I mean, we could use some talent at linebacker. Because,
I mean, that guy's a badass, right?
I think so.
What does the chat say, guys?
I think he's second best linebacker.
Gary says double up on guard. He says take another guard.
Gray Zabel. They're both going to be due for a contract same time, too. That'll be fun for the Bengals.
Well, Booker's played left guard, so if I was going to double up, it'd be Tate Ratledge. But I just think because we don't even know the situation with Trey. So to sit here and have zero pass rush right now,
Right.
zero.
I know. I do
can I-
think that Trey plays this year disgruntled if he has to, but I
Riley
just
says
don't feel.
Jackson.
But I could be wrong, man. I was fucking totally wrong about last season.
This is why I hate taking a guard in the first, because I honestly think you can get a very good guard in the second in this class. And I
Matt
think
says-
that's where the value is.
Matt says Princely. That's who I'm going with is Princely. Gary says the Bengals are stupid. They aren't trading down.
I take Princely here too.
All right, sounds like we had a Princely. It's Princely.
Yeah, they say if
Well, quit
Dust
reading
says-
it. If they go against it, then we're in trouble because Princely's the pick.
Yeah, and if it wasn't going to be Princely, I would have taken Carson Swessinger. But I want to see this taking Princely at edge. We still need D tackle. We still
He's
could
a
look at
tailor.
linebacker. We still could look at safety.
Hey, look it.
I know Tate's up there, but he's not going to be there in the third round in real life. So I'm trying to be like, I wish they would start fucking mocking him sooner on these simulators, because
Yeah.
it's pointless to me. So let's look at other positions, because I just don't expect him to actually be there.
Well, you
Deion
got
Walker's my pick.
Deion Walker.
Scares the hell out of me.
Yeah,
Because of the
who
back
cares more
injury?
about Dale?
Because of the
Injury-wise-
back, because of the pad level, because of the effort at times. I mean, he played a lot of snaps, but he just scares the hell out of me.
But so who scares you more, Walker or Lott?
And his athleticism was like a 4, so we just getting slow guys. I mean, is that we're trying to get
Yeah,
unathletic,
you're right.
more unathletic? Because
Gary still
and that's
says
we talk about how it's okay to have a RAS of like 4 if you're a nose guard, right? He has the size of a nose guard. He doesn't play like one. He's a fucking pass rusher. So
Dave says-
I need him to be more athletic.
Dave says look at safety, and Dustin says is Josiah there.
Yeah, Makuba in the third is crazy, honestly.
What was the other position?
Josiah, I think
Edge. That's that's the Michigan edge. Yeah, he's there, and so I like Kennard more than him. I think Kennard's being underrated right now. He had a great season.
But Dale, going back to my question, who scares you more injury wise, Walker or Lott?
God, I don't know, because they both concern me football wise, not just injury wise.
Right.
So I mean, it's literally like very similar. Because I mean, I would if it's like, oh, you're taking a gamble on one of him here. I don't even know.
Well, no, it's funny Dustin brings us up. Follow Ravens philosophy, double up positions. We do that too. We do that too every year. We double up on positions every year. Last year we did with tight end and DT. We do. So we are going to double up. We do double up on positions.
It's just like Ratledge, though. Like Ratledge being here sucks because I don't think he is in real life. It's the same thing as safety with Makuba. They're here on the simulator, but I think Makuba has a chance to go in the second round. If he doesn't go in the second, I think he goes early third. Is it possible he gets to pick 81? Sure. I have a hard time seeing it.
Travis here is asking if we promoted Project Game Day yet. Brandon and I are trying to do giveaways if we get enough tickets sold.
Well, we'll do that. We're trying to do this.
Okay. Dave says reach and take Caldwell.
But he's also more of a nose tackle. He can get to the passer some, but I feel like we're set at that spot. Like
Ben Tucky says take Tyler Barron later. Makuba goes in the second. Is Harmon gone? Oh, yeah, Gary, I guarantee you Harmon's probably gone.
Oh,
by
yeah,
this
he
time.
was gone in the first
Yeah, I was
round.
going to say.
So I don't know, man. Let's just take Norman Lott and hope the knee maybe is fine, because we took Walker last week. So we're taking a risk. We're trying to get some pass rush. I mean, at least we've added some pass rush now, right?
Yeah. So, well,
Tate Ratledge just keeps being there. Like,
Hey, Ratledge.
I mean, it makes the mock draft look better, right?
Let's
Yeah.
double up on guards. Let's take Tate Ratledge.
We fixed you, Bengals. I don't give a shit. Just fucking take Tate Ratledge.
Just
and
take Tate.
People will be like, that's not realistic. And we'll be like,
Right.
no, but
We're
Yeah.
making this realistic, Dale.
one of these days I'll do one that's realistic on here.
I know. We need to find a mock draft simulator where you can plug your top players in, Dale, and then
Yeah. Plug my actual board in and
yes,
Make
I
it
know that
work the
Goodberry
way-
does it. Maybe something like that. You know, he's got one where he plugs his numbers in. That's what we need for you.
I will say I feel a hell of a lot better. Would feel a hell of a lot better if you got something similar to this, where you got Tyler Booker at left guard, and I know they're both rookies, but hell, you know, if one of them's not ready and the other one is this year, you still got all these backups, Cody Ford and Lucas Patrick and those guys on the roster. So they play till the other one's ready. I mean, you'd have 2 good guards. Plus,
Yeah,
Princely is a hell of a pass rusher. And Norman Lott, I am not asking him to do anything but come in on third downs and third and longs or whatever and fucking go after the quarterback. So that's what we have so far. We could look at safety, linebacker, corner, running back now that we're getting to this point.
Is Jalen, he's not the safety you liked from Penn State.
I do not. No, that's Winston. He's gone now. I didn't like Reed a whole lot. Billy Bowman's good. He's just undersized. Noah Williams is intriguing to me at corner because he's like 6 foot, a little longer, had 7 interceptions this year from Cal. So led to NCAA. I'm pretty sure he tested well. I can't remember testing off the top of my head. Who's that linebacker? I think I seen Barrett Carter. Yeah. Danny Stutzman, Barrett Carter. So I like both those guys. Carter's like a 4-year player at Clemson. I don't know that he'd be ready to start here. You're drafting him in the 4th round. But that's the type of guy you bring in, or Stutzman, either one. Stutzman's a tackling machine, and he tested way better than I kind of expected.
Dave said Williams will be good here.
Who's Williams?
I have no idea.
Well, Williams.
And Gary says take another guard. We already took 2, but hell, why not? Let's
Noah Williams. He's talking about Noah Williams, cornerback.
Yeah. It's like I'm sure it's somebody we just talked about, but
we got.
Yeah, I like Ferguson. I just don't. I mean, with 6 tight ends on the roster, if you count Eric All, I don't see
running back.
Yeah, I like Sampson. I like Giddens. I like Neal down there. Martinez. Tootin's a good speedster kind of guy. I like RJ Harvey. It's crazy. I think a lot of these guys go a lot higher too. I think there's going to be a big run on running backs in the 2nd and 3rd round area. I go back to linebacker. I don't know. I think Stutzman or Barrett Carter, either one at linebacker would be a good pick here. We're going to continue. I mean, we've got 2 guards. You feel good about at least protecting Joe. You've got your base weapons. You could still get a running back later in this deep class. So it's a deep running back class. Why? I mean, I feel a lot better about that than I do the linebackers and how quick they're going to be gone after this.
Which one do you think out of these 2 is best for day one?
Honestly, don't know. Maybe Stutzman, but I don't think you go wrong with either pick.
Well, what's the chat say, Greg?
Both of them's played a lot of football.
Dustin Croft said Sampson would be a steal. Travis says Carter. Gabbard says we know Stutzman. I know Williams.
All right. Well, just for the chat, we're doing linebackers, so it's between Barrett Carter and Danny Stutzman.
Yep.
It sounds like Stutzman. The majority said Stutzman so far.
Robert says Matt Walker said Carter, so it's neck and neck here.
I know. I'm clicking the buttons, and he is my number 1 customer, so I'm just saying. Oops. What happened there? Sorry. Oh, you're welcome, Matt. Put your orders in now. Control the next draft board.
Now, if you guys want to look at,
we were picking between the 2.
Yeah, it didn't matter to me.
Either one.
4th round, you're getting a young, fairly athletic linebacker either way to get in this room and get on the field. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Noah Williams is still there.
There you go.
At corner, and then we could look at running back because I'm sure there's still a decent one there. Safety, standing out. Yeah, I almost wouldn't even. I like Damian Martinez enough to just say, you know what, 5th round, because it's where I think he goes. That's where we're at. I think he pairs perfectly with what we have. He's not going to be a lot of catching passes probably in his first season, but that's fine because you have P. Ryan that you already brought in. He's your short yardage. And if you needed him to get 20 carries in a game because Chase Brown was out, I would feel good about Damian Martinez coming in and giving me 20 carries in a game.
So Damian Martinez, he's been slowly going up the draft boards. Quietly been going up some draft boards, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I think he could easily go in the 4th, and we're in the 5th. So that's Billy Bowman's the safety here. The only thing, he's a little undersized. That's the highest safety on the board.
Let me ask you this though, Dale. Since a lot of people, including me, are going to think of Trevor Etienne. I just had it, and then it came out wrong because they're going to compare him to his brother, which was great. So
Travis.
Tell me about him. Because
he's just, I don't know. I thought he should have went back to school another year. I think he was highly debating on it, and then he chose to come out. He's quick. He gets injured a lot. He's not the biggest guy. I don't know. It's just I think that the NFL is going to be a lot higher on him than I am. I just don't think it's what we need either. Like
because the name probably, right? A lot of it too.
No. I think people will like him and the kid from Texas. People will like them, the speedster kind of guys. But I don't think that's what we need. I want us to get a more short yardage, a guy that run through somebody's fucking face if I need him to,
right?
On a 3rd and short or a 4th and goal or whatever. I need him to run through somebody's face and get me a yard.
I agree. I need that short yardage, 3rd down, 3rd and 1 guy. I need our running back to be our version of the tush push where we just guarantee a yard every time.
Yeah.
So what was it? Billy Bowman we're taking?
I would still take Martinez here, personally, the running back.
What's the chance?
I think he's that guy.
Bernard is a B. CB wouldn't hurt per depth. We need a safety, too. This is from Gary. Hell no to Walker, Gary says. Matt says, thank you, Choppa.
You're welcome. Thank you, Matt.
Is Cody Simon gone, according to Dustin? Kyle Travis here says Kyle.
Monangai.
Yeah. Matt Walker says Martinez. Up.
Uh-oh.
Here we go.
Let's take Martinez and let's go to the next round.
All right.
Hey, Matt Walker once again. Here you go, buddy.
I know. Somebody did order a shirt while we were on here, though, by the way.
Miles Frazier has no business being on the board. I would have taken him as high as the 2nd round. It's just ridiculous.
Man, we got that's what I'm saying. So we got 2 guards and Miles Frazier popped up.
That's what's hard about this because I want to just do some of these where it's like, okay, in my opinion, these guys, and I know shit happens in the draft. Some guys will fall. But when you're just over and over taking guys that you feel are 2 rounds later and they're going to go, it just doesn't seem realistic.
Here's what we got left in safeties.
There's a bunch of guys I like on there, to be honest.
Who's this guy from Iowa? Tell me about him.
Yeah, Castro. So he's played a lot of slot corner there, but I think he is going to be a safety in the NFL. He didn't test real well, but he's got good ball skills. And Iowa just puts out some pretty good DBs, and none of them are ever athletic. I mean, Geno Stone, you can debate whether he's good or not. He's had a decent career for 4th, 5th round kind of pick, whatever he was in the draft. Yeah. But, I mean, even Cooper DeJean, safety/slot corner, that's a similar role to what Castro played this year for them. Not saying he's Cooper DeJean. He's nowhere close, but that's why we're in the 6th round talking about him. Malachi Moore was the 4-year starter at Alabama as well on there. R.J. Mickens is pretty good ball skills in the secondary. Hunter Wohler, if you want more in the box safety, he's still a decent athlete. Craig Woodson's pretty good.
Did Malachi Moore play his freshman year with Jordan Battle?
He probably, yeah.
I mean, he was a 4-year starter. He started with Jordan Battle, right? So there's a little bit of continuity, too, with those guys.
Yeah, I would be fine taking Malachi Moore. I think it would be cool to pair him back up with Jordan Battle.
There you go, Battle. You got your guy.
There you go.
Now, I mean, we could look at like corner. I don't think I'm going to take tight end at this point, but there's still corners on there I like. I mean, Marshall, if he makes it, he had a good season. He's had some injuries at Florida, but he's got the size, the length, everything you want in like an outside corner. Wale's kind of similar. Muhammad may end up being in the slot. He's smaller. Same thing with Upton Stout. But I wouldn't have an issue taking Jason Marshall here. I actually have like a 4th round grade on him, and this is where we traded down. We're in the 7th round. So
this is our last pick. Do we want to look around or take Jason Marshall?
I take Jason Marshall. Put it on the board. I don't care.
All right, there we go.
Right.
We're done. We did it. We shot our load.
We did. Oh,
we shot our load, and part of it's not realistic, but
no. I mean,
some people wanted.
Guard taken off. Dylan Radens. The guy I actually liked. He is signed with the Saints.
Yeah, well, they wanted Lucas Patrick back.
Yeah, they did. I think they did too.
I don't think Dylan Radens has ever really done much.
No, he was my pick in the 2nd round. That's the guy who I wanted. So thank God the Bengals didn't listen to me. But Dale, that's the guy I liked.
Here's how unrealistic this shit is. Abdul Carter was picked 8.
Jeez,
man, the Panthers would be so happy. And I could see the Panthers. Why the hell does that say Brady Cook went?
I know, man.
Brady fucking Cook is an undrafted quarterback. This simulator is on crack.
I know, man.
Yeah.
This simulator's done
What in the
that.
actual fuck? I see it said Brady Cook. What the fuck? How
But
the
I
hell
do
did
like
that
that-
happen?
I like the Browns didn't take Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Travis Hunter at 9, Abdul Carter at 8. Sure, the two best players in the draft fall into 8 and 9. Exactly
know.
what will happen.
Ashton
Yeah, this
Jenkins
simulator's
is-
fucking. We're gonna have to try PFF next time or something because this thing, that was bad.
Oh, look at it.
Stillers got
Look
Walter
at
Nolan.
I fucking knew it. What did I say? We have to trade before the Steelers because these cocksuckers will take Walter Nolan.
They did. And they did.
Fuckers. Oh, and he'll be such a fucking stud.
He would
Yeah.
be.
That is
Tyler
such
Kelly,
a Steelers
He'll
move.
take over for Cam Hayward. Cam Hayward will retire after this year, and he'll also kill us for 15 straight seasons.
And look at Jihad Campbell went to the Ravens. I do not need that either.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Wow. So Jihad Campbell, and then he'll be able to play week 1. He'll magically.
Mhm.
Be
Oh
fine.
yeah, he'll be a speedy recovery. I like Colston Loveland to the Commanders though. You go, Jaden Daniels. So anyway,
Man, you see his mom? He was chatting up Juju Watkins. She's like the best women's college player at USC, and it was like before one of her games or after
yeah.
whatever. And he's sitting there chatting her up, looked like they were having a good time. Next thing you know, there's fucking Jaden Daniels' mom sitting right in between them. No one was having fun anymore.
right.
Man, she does not let women get close to that man. She said that too.
Right.
But I feel good. I feel good that we added Princely in the second since we went with the guard in the first. I didn't really want to go guard in the first, but some people wanted to do that, so we tried it out, something different. Took Tyler Booker in the first. Somehow trading down, we had an extra third. Tate Ratledge is still there. We said it's not realistic. We'll take him. Now we have Booker and Ratledge at guard. Okay, I feel Joey B
Yeah.
is sufficiently protected.
I was still see who ordered. Guess. Who
Matt.
put in the order? Matt.
Yeah, you did those picks for him, so he made an order.
That's right. It was before I think it was before I made the pick for him. That's a good customer.
But yeah, Princely at edge, I'd feel good. And then we took a swing with Omar Norman Lott, right? We don't know with the knee issue. He's not going to defend the run, but we're talking designated pass rusher, come in behind the rest of the D tackles already on the roster that are good run defenders, and just let him get after the quarterback. So I don't know. Worth a shot. Malachi Moore at safety.
I
worth
mean,
a shot on day 3. Pair him
I
back
don't
up
feel
with
horrible
Colorado,
about that draft, even though I think that parts of it are very unrealistic.
for sure. But that's all these, right? And that's what going Tyler Booker, we traded down before we took him. So we didn't take him at 17, we took him at 23. I still don't know that I'd love it, but hey, it's a scenario, and maybe it happens because the Bengals are pigeonholing themselves into needing a good guard, to be honest.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I think that some people might still want a guard number one because of Protect Joe, but maybe this kind of showed them that there are good quality guards left after round 1, and it really gets slim on pass rush after round 1.
Well, I think that I would have stayed at 17 in hindsight and taken Walter Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Based on everything I said before we did the mock draft, because I think he has a chance to be a really good pass rusher in the NFL, and you get those guys in the first round. So he was there at 17, and we traded down, and he was gone before 23. I'd be disappointed if that happened in real life.
Yeah, so would I. Oh my God. Please don't be letting us do our live draft show night 1 and sit here and the goddamn Steelers pick Walter Nolan if we trade past them.
Yeah.
Oh, plus that motherfucker will be on here too with us.
Yeah, I'll be like, he sucked all along.
Oh
Never
yeah, we'll
wanted
be
him.
like, fuck him. We were
Character issues.
yeah.
Bum.
We lied about him. We hate his ass.
But we do. We appreciate you, Rob.
It was all smoke screens, man. Yeah, appreciate you too, Robert. Hopefully your job search is going well.
Now, on Friday, we will have a guest, and it will be in Cummings from Pro Football Network. He is back doing all the stuff with the draft again. We had him on a lot last year because, he knows
Smart
his
guy.
shit. And so sometimes he says stuff, and we don't even know what he's talking about. And I follow the draft a lot.
Dale, he's like talking to you, man. It's like a computer. You
like
just
a smart version though.
like a smart
that
version. He's
knows
like a
big
smart
words.
version of Dale.
The one that knows big words.
He's like Dale minus the dumbass part.
Hey, Dale, not. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you were going.
Oh no, I was going to say I'm going to go back to Travis right here and all that and stuff. Back to because we were in the middle of doing the mock draft to promote Project Game Day because him and that Brandon guy are trying to do giveaways if we get enough tickets sold. So should we promote that quickly or?
Sure, but incomings will be on Friday, is what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead. Promote.
Hey, where's the Project Game Day thing? Do we have like? Well, anyway, Friday, April 25th, the Fowling Warehouse. Please come to tickets are only $30. How many have we sold? We've sold quite a few tickets. I've lost number, but a lot have been sold lately.
Over
Please
30.
get your What's that?
Over 30.
Yeah.
No, we've sold like 90, but they're doing
Yeah,
a giveaway
yeah.
with a jersey right now. So they're trying to get a certain amount of tickets. Plus, then Travis is also going to do another giveaway on top
Nice.
of that if so many tickets are sold. So just like if you're thinking about getting tickets, today would be a great day to do it so we can do these other giveaways too.
That's
Plus,
true.
you're entered automatically for a chance to win that football we showed on the show the other day. You can go back and look at that from the episode on Friday. Got Joe Burrow on there, Jamar Chase, Ted Karras, whole bunch. Most of the team is on that football.
Yes.
Yep.
And you're automatically entered when you buy a ticket to Project Game Day.
That's
Plus,
true.
Jordan Battle's going to be there. Plus, there's going to be Midwest Best Barbecue. Plus, Gold Star Chili. Garage beer that you can buy. It may be discounted. We'll see. We're still working through those details.
Yep.
There could be another player or two that we're in talks trying to get to come. So it should be a fun event. Plus the fouling. I've never done it. I've never thrown a football at a
Neither
bowling
have
pin.
I.
So I'm going to go throw a football at a bowling pin. If you've never
Yep.
done that, that's part of your ticket, your cost to get in. You don't have to pay extra to do the folding.
Yeah. And hey, let me tell you this. I heard Jordan Battle loves to dance. And so there could be a dot bot dance off. Who knows?
Who knows?
I was told that we should ask Jordan Battle to dance because he loves to dance and he'll be there for sure. He's confirmed.
The only one who's done the dot bot dance is Corey Dillon. Corey did a good job out on the golf course.
Yeah, he
one
did.
time.
Yep.
But yeah, Project Game Day. So it's at Project Game Day on X, and they've got all the details there. There's also, I'm always reposting on the at Bengals Brews account. So you can scroll through and find all the details for that on that website, along with these guys' pages. They're always retweeting that, promoting that event. But yeah, get your tickets. You can get them through Venmo or PayPal. All the details for specifics are also on that.
Yep. It's going to be a good time, man. It was great last year. This year, we've made it even bigger, and we've added foaling. So that's going to be awesome.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, appreciate you guys tuning in. Like
Appreciate
I said, we'll be back Friday unless we sign Brandon Scherf. And then we'd have to have a pop-up episode because we got the Scherf.
Yeah. Right.
We didn't get the deputy.
Nope.
All right. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hoo day. Everybody have a good week.